Hello friends, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am back here in Genshin Impact because we are going to be doing a character building video for the first time in a long time. And today the character that we are going to be building is Mizuki. Now this might seem a little bit random, but Mizuki is actually the last standard banner 5-star that I needed to complete my collection of standard banner 5-stars, and you may have heard me say in the past that I have sort of made a prompt to myself that anytime I get a 5-star I will build them no matter what, because I feel like all of them have potential. And Mizuki is not excluded from that list because today we are in fact going to be building her. Now, similar to the building videos that I've done in the years past, this is definitely going to take place over multiple days because I simply don't have enough resin to get everything I need in one day. What we already have so far, she is at level 1 and her weapon is probably going to be Mappa Mare because I do want her to have a good amount of EM. I did have her on this, but I don't know. And instead of running her as a healer like you usually would, I kind of want to try her as like a swirl sub DPS sort of thing because I think it would be really fun to try that out. So I'll probably switch back and forth from that weapon to this one. And this one does actually give more EM, so I might just keep this one on anyway. And energy recharge never hurt anybody as well. Now for her artifacts, I don't have enough pieces of Viridescent Veneer because I have multiple characters using it right now, that being Kazuha and Venti, so the best I can do is 2-piece Wanderers and 2-piece VV. The stats are alright. I tried to get as much elemental mastery as I could. You can see this piece has 33. This feather is kind of garbage, but it is literally the only feather for VV that has 2 crit stats on it, so I had to stick with it. This one I made in the artifact strongbox or whatever you call it, and I wanted an EM Sands with 2 crit stats. It's also got some attack and ER, which is great. Now for her goblet, this is actually one of my 2 super cracked animo damage goblets. I picked the one that had more EM on it. This one has like the same stat, but I might switch back and forth just because of that extra crit rate. And for her crown, it's just a generic crit crown with some garbage stats on it because it's all that I have, and my other 2 characters are using them. And this is an HP goblet, or an HP circlet. I'm dying today. So her ratio is right now 41/185, which is a little bit crazy, so I might actually just end up using that goblet with more crit rate on it despite that extra EM. So I don't know, but if we look at it right now, that does make it a little bit better, more pleasing to the eye, if you will. So we might just stick with that for right now. She is C0, of course, and because she's level 1, her talents are also level 1. When it comes to her talents, I don't see myself using her normal attack as much. I did look into her skill a little bit, and that's pretty much why I want to build her, because of her unique skill in that sense. So I'm probably going to do a 686 or 688 or something like that. And as I said earlier, we're not going to be building her as a healer, so this is kind of just a weird hybrid build, an experiment, if you will. So let's see how this goes. I am broke in Hero's Wit because I just built my flints from that summons video. I don't know if that video will already be out. I'm super behind because of all this work that I'm doing, but that's okay. So over these few days, I'm definitely going to be gathering more Mora. As you can see, I don't have a lot of Mora either, and we're going to be doing a bunch of ley lines as well. So what I'm going to do first, I think, is do some quick calculations to see how many boss materials and how many books we will need to get her to 688. And then we will go from there. Okay, so without having crafted anything so far, all we need right now, I say all, but it's really a lot. We need to craft some of the purple gems. We need to get boss materials. I collected all the sea Ganodermas ahead of time, so that's fine. We need to craft more handguards. I have to fight the Arlecchino boss for Fading Candle. I'm gonna have to get a lot more books, a lot more Mora, and a lot more Hero's Wit. And I will mention, these are all the materials required to get her to level 80 with talents of 688. I'm not going to get her to 90 today, only because that would take so much more time, and many characters are of course still very usable at level 80, so that's okay. But for now, what I can do is work on gathering boss materials, crafting gems, and crafting more handguards. So let's get to that. Alright, here we are. I hope we can get all of the Ascension materials for her talents that we need right now, otherwise this video is going to take a whole lot longer.
Afraid? Or do you not even have the courage to be afraid? Have a taste of purgatory. Look at you. trapped like a bunch of helpless animals. Our confidence has been sullied. My blade is all that remains. The sun and moon have set, only ruin remains.
Alright, there we go. She has been killed. Let's do it. Oh, we got a candle. Let's go. Okay, that's really good. And this sucks. Alright, so I can use one dream solvent to convert this into a fading candle, but that does mean that unfortunately this video may or may not go for another week. So with our last bit of resin, I think I'm going to use this 120 to fight the boss 3 times, and then we will go kill some of those fun guys. Based off what's in my inventory, I apparently have fought this boss before, but I literally do not remember doing it at all, so... It appears to be cryo-oriented, so I think I'm either going to use one of my pyro teams or, like, an electro team or something.
Very well!
Okay, hold on. I just turned my mic on for that suddenly because, oh my god. I was literally earlier just talking about how I needed one of these. Hold on, hold on, hold on. We are raising that right now. There's no way. That is wild. I know it has 2 HP stats, but like, dude. I hope it goes into crit damage, please. I need this right now. Okay, I will toss this thing in, I guess. Come on, come on, come on, please. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, that's 1. 1, 1, 1. Come on. Stop it right now, bro! We can ignore the freaking HP, but oh my god. You might have just found yourself a new piece. Maybe. Because I don't need her to have that much crit damage, but look at the crit rate, it looks so much better. Wow, that was a crazy turning point for this. I honestly think it'll be better to have her with more crit rate, because 140 still is not bad at all. Okay, now for the last fight, I'm gonna hope this thing doesn't regenerate while I'm talking, but I think it will. Okay. Ugh.
Incinerate! Very well!
Alright, so now we are out of resin for the day. I'm gonna, because I learned my lesson, I'm gonna step back so that thing doesn't trigger when it respawns. Now let's see where we're at for Mizuki. I don't think I'm gonna have more than 20, because I didn't do it that many times. 15, that's not bad at all. Considering we need 26 to get her to 80, I think we are in a pretty good spot. Now what I'm gonna do is, do I have Stardust? I do have Stardust. I can buy a bunch of these things. Okay. Wow, there we go. We might not have to fight those thingies anymore. Alright, so after having crafted those, we now have 14 out of the 32 blue handguards that we need, and we still have 96 out of 96 and 36 out of 36 for those green and white ones. But that does still mean we can definitely do some fighting today, so let's go out and hunt for some of those guys that I don't know the name of.
Knock him down.
You win. Subject.
Go in it! Gotcha!
The fairy. Finally, I. The fairy. Finally, I. The fairy. The fairy.
Alright, so we just killed a bunch of Nobushi, I just figured out that's what they're called, and I don't know if we'll have enough, but I did get a lot, so I'm pretty sure that we might be good. Alright, there we are. We now have all of the handguards that we need, and a lot of extras. So I can mark that down, and now all that we need is boss materials, one more Arlecchino fight, and the books. So I think that is probably where I'm going to stop for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we can continue farming for Mizuki. Alrighty, I am back. It is the next day, and today, because it is Sunday, we are going to be farming for Yume Mizuki, Mizuki's talents. So I guess let's head on into that talent domain and get some books. Alright, so I did about 3 runs in that domain, and anytime I have any books that are green quality, I'm going to make sure that I have no more than 9 at a time, and then anytime I have more than 9, I'm just going to craft them up into the blue variety. So let's see where we are at. Right now, let's see. Okay, so we've got 22 green books, 31 blue, and 10 purple. So we're definitely going to need to do some more runs in there. If I look right now, I don't know what days her books are available. Hopefully tomorrow, because that means that'll be... Okay, good. So that makes this a lot easier. So I'll be able to farm books tomorrow as well, so that today we can also get some leyline action in, and then we will be able to hopefully level her up more quickly. We technically only need, what, 10 more? Bro, honestly, why not? It makes things a lot easier. So that means we have all of our purple, and we are down to 11 blue, unfortunately, but we do have all of our green. And therefore, this is what our book stats look like. I do think I have less Mora. Oh no, I have like 10,000 more Mora than I did before. At most today, because I only have 2 more, I guess, 40 resin rounds left, the most boss material we could get today is 8 pieces, so we would either get between 6 to 8 pieces. And 15 plus 8 is 23, so even if I did do both of those runs, I still wouldn't have enough anyway, so I think ley lines are the best decision that we're going to make today. Okay, so I am now at 0 resin, which means that we're going to have to stop here for today, but that is not before I do some quick calculations to see how much XP we have in total, and we are finally over 1 million Mora. It feels great. So in total we've got 790,000 XP, and we need in total a lot more than that. So we're getting there slowly, but I think I'm definitely going to spend some time off camera when I have the time doing a lot of ley lines over and over and over again. And if I get any fragile resins, I might consider tossing it in there as well. Alright, so it is now day 3 or 4, I can't remember, because this is actually a voiceover. I have spent some time behind the scenes farming. I did record it, but I didn't record the voice portion of it because I just wasn't in the right situation to be able to record with clear audio. So I spent a lot of the time over the last 3 or 4 days farming boss materials. I think I killed the weekly boss one more time, so we have all we need when it comes to candles. I also farmed some ley lines, but we still definitely need more. And the other thing that we also still need is those talent books. I have not had a day that has been not busy that I've been able to sit down and farm those books, so this is probably going to take, unfortunately, a bit longer than I expected. But yeah, I guess with that, enjoy the time lapse of me farming some materials over the last few days. Alright you guys, it is finally Thursday, which means that we can go farm for Mizuki's talents. It has been way too long and I really need to get this done. So let's go on in there. I have about 180 resin to spend today, which should give us about 4.5 runs. So hopefully that can finally give us the books that we need. I think worst case scenario, we're definitely gonna just have to spend one more day farming ley lines with a fragile or two, and then we should be done. Actually, because it is a new week, that means I have access to a transient resin in the teapot, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna craft 4 condensed and use that in the talent domain, and any extra that we don't use in the talent domain will go towards ley lines, including that transient resin. So, now let's actually get to it. Alright, so that was 4 runs inside of the domain. I don't think we're going to have enough, but I'm pretty sure we will be close. If I look at my notepad here, we're definitely good on green. Blue is where we are struggling. So hopefully, oof, yeah, we're definitely gonna be low. We need 60, as you can see here. Yeah, so 63 blue books. Purple we're entirely good, which is helpful. Yeah, so 21 on that we're good, and we're good on green. So I guess I'll try to craft these as efficiently as possible so that we can get as many blue as we can without getting rid of all the green that we've got. Alright. Ooh, we got a bonus. Thank you, Eula. Okay, we are at 35. We might want to scratch the ley line idea today, unfortunately, because I definitely don't want to be here until Sunday doing this. So we are now at 35. I was explaining all of the calculations that I just did to figure out how much Hero's Wit and Mora we have, but unfortunately my microphone was off, so I'm gonna explain it again. I did calculations to figure out how much Hero's Wit and Mora we have. So for Hero's Wit, we are super close, and for Mora, we are definitely a lot better than we were before. We're at 1.8 million now, as opposed to that 1.1 million we were at yesterday, which means that I only need to do probably 3 or 4 more Mora ley lines, and I think I can probably just get that Hero's Wit from running around and doing any quests that I haven't done. So we are almost there, we are almost to that finish line, and we will be able to test out Mizuki very soon. But I think that is probably all of the things that I'm gonna get done today. So I guess I will next see you when everything is complete and when everything is ready to test. Alright, you guys, it is day 8, 9, 10, 11,000, I don't remember at this point, of building Mizuki, but we are just so close to approaching that finish line because today is Sunday, which means that we can go and get her talent materials, which is actually the final thing that we need. So I've got about 150 resin today, which means we can do 3.5 runs in the talent domain, so let's get to it. So I just went through and crafted up all of the blue books that we need, and we have exactly 63, which is just the amount that we need. And as you can see here, I also spent some time doing some Mora and ley lines on the side, so we have all of what we need when it comes to that. But that does mean that we have everything, and we can finally start ascending her and testing her out.
I feel myself getting stronger, both in body and mind. You've helped a psychologist down her own path to healing.
Alright, there she is. She is fully leveled and she has got all of her stuff. I'm not sure why her crit damage went down. I must have touched something I wasn't aware of. But her talents are 6, 8, 8. I had a little bit of trouble deciding whether I wanted to put her normal attack or her burst at 8 after doing her E, because like I knew I was going to do that one. But I decided to go with this one, even though we're not going to be using her for healing. That AoE damage explosion that will occur when the duration runs out, I think is something to consider, so I chose that one instead. For her party setup, I kind of want to do like a pet simulator situation where it's gonna be similar like with my Chaska, where we just have a bunch of off-field damage characters of different elements. So I guess let's just, I mean, you can never go wrong with Bennett. So I think that this team is pretty solid. So for testing her out, I figured we should just probably do something simple, like a few enemies that are spread out, because one big enemy I feel like wouldn't do as good with showing her damage capabilities, if there's any at all. So I'm just gonna come over here where these treasure hoarders are. I'm worried that Farina might kill them all, because their HP is so low. But I think we're gonna be fine. Can't hurt to try. So let's see. Yeah, there's only 3 of these guys. I'll pull out Fischl and I'll do Bennett's first. Yeah, I think, okay. I'm not sure what's happening there, but I think something's happening. I can't tell if Mizuki did any of that or if it was all Fischl, because at this point it's hard to tell. What I want to do now, though, is maybe put on 4-piece Viridescent and then see where that takes us. So for this, I'm probably just going to take Venti's artifacts. I know he's got... oh, he has an energy recharge sands. Okay, I'll just keep this EM one on her and then take everything else from Venti, and then we can try again. Alright, so I made some adjustments, and she does now have 4-piece Viridescent. Her ratio is a little bit weird. It's pretty similar. She's got 50 over 160. I'm debating whether or not I want to change this weapon, because I don't really think, besides this one, I have a DPS weapon that can kind of increase her damage. Well, Winsith isn't that horrible. If she gets this interlude one, then that would be fine. And the crit damage will make her look a lot better. Ooh, wow, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take that. And she's got more attack to boot. A little bit less EM, but still enough to the point, I think, where she will be able to do some good damage. And instead of just, like, frolicking around looking for enemies, I might just go into, like, a domain or something that's got some enemies scattered around. I'm thinking of going to, actually, the Viridescent domain, because there's a bunch of enemies in there that are small, but I think enough...
If you ever feel down, just drop everything and go out for some fresh air.
To the point where I get swirled them together. Thanks for that little anecdote there. But I think that is what we're gonna do. So let's go see if that is any better. That actually surprised me. I am very happy with how smooth that was. So I didn't get a lot of Fischl uptime because her E skill doesn't last as long as Farina's, so we did do a lot of Hydro Swirling, but that is still swirling. I did have Bennett's Burst down too for that extra attack boost. And that, I feel like, was the best test we've done so far, of course given the fact that she's got a 4-piece set that boosts swirl damage, which is not going to be her main set, but I still think that that was a pretty satisfying result. Anyways, I guess that does wrap up our Mizuki almost 2-week-long video. Alright you guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video of building Mizuki. I think this is probably one of the videos that has taken me the longest to not only record, but edit as well, at almost 2 weeks, because I've had so many things to do in between. But I hope you guys did enjoy the ride anyways. I love building characters the way I guess you're technically not supposed to use them, but it's still so much fun for me, even though people sometimes get a little mad at me when I build healers as DPSs and then I'm surprised that they don't do damage. But yeah, that is all from me. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Today I am back here in Genshin Impact because we are going to be doing a character bit. Okay. I don't know if you just heard that, but it sounded like somebody in the domain was knocking on my ear. Ugh, you little Charlie just busted my door wide open.
Let's get down to business.
Bye. Ow, that hurt.